there's a certain version of me that shows up when I'm doing something that I really love. And that version of me has greater creativity, greater adaptability. I am unstoppable and I am magnetic. It is an amazing version. Well, I'm not so rare. This version shows up with others as well when you're doing something you love. It could be painting, it could be gardening. You see it often in sports. When someone is playing and they're performing at a high level, there's almost this universal sign like, I can't just believe I just did that. And they're doing it over and over again. Christopher Cross wrote this song, well, it's not far down to Neverland, at least not for me. And if the wind is right, we can sail away, find tranquility. Oh, the canvas can do miracles. Just you wait and see. Believe me. Sailing takes me away where I always heard it could be. Just take you away, right? For me, it's not sailing, but it's dancing around the world. Going to dance festivals where it's psychologically safe, where the music takes you away, where every step is a step of groundedness, reminding you that you are grounded. Connection with humans, not through a computer, but real connection and frame and movement. And I find myself in this euphoric state, in this state of flow. And I begin to think about how everything was easier for me, how even my breathing changed, how even my posture would change. I was happier. The frontal cortex, the critic, it got so quiet that I didn't even have critical thoughts. And I began to do research around this. And did you know that when you are in a state of flow, that neuroplasticity takes place, that you can actually rewire your mind and your brain, that you have greater adaptability, greater ability to solve problems. That's a nice version of yourself, right? Did you also know that you get a brain boost 5 times over? The ability to solve problems with less effort. Who wouldn't want that? And we all do activities that we love. So we experience this rewiring in our minds. But something strange began to happen for me that's a benefit to me. I would leave these festivals, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Portugal, Angola, France, Paris, come back home and come to work in a very corporate environment. But the residuals would follow me. I began to think, what if the next level of success for you is not predicated so much on another plan, but it's more about you transferring your flow from an activity that you love into other areas of your life? And this was happening for me. I came back to work and I would have this harmony internally. I call it coherence. And then outwardly, there would be this congruence. And people would begin to notice it's like, it's something about you. And then they would say things like, you're glowing today. But it was like every day they were saying that. You're magnetic. Or let's include Carl. It became a common thing. And then it was recognition, kudos here, promotion here, twice in a year. And here's a card from a teammate. Love this card. And I put it on my desk whenever I'm in these FaceTime meetings, and the people on the call think that I'm smiling at them, and it's the card that I'm really looking at. And the card says, you equal great teammate. We won the lottery when we got you. Who gets a Feel the Vibe award from the community? I was recognized in May for just my community spirit and vibe. Then I began to really dig into the science of it all. And don't you know that when you are doing activities that you love, you can neurologically rewire your mind and set you up for success in other activities. But there's a way you have to train yourself to do it. And so there would be examples at work where I would be asked to do something, maybe last minute. Can you speak in front of the board? And it's 2 hours before the board meeting. In my mind, I was like, I've dealt with improvisation before. I had a dance partner that fell out right before the performance, one day before, got another dance partner. We worked through the movement of it all and did an amazing performance the next day. My brain has been wired for improvisation last minute, right? I got this. I can do this. Then I began to integrate in other ways, thinking, how did I feel when I'm dealing with something that's uncertain? And so I was able to go into that boardroom, into that risk committee, and able to present in an amazing way. But what I want to share with you today is some of the things that I've discovered over the last 30 years. When I talk about dance being a place of rhythm and flow for me, it goes real deep. I'm a first generational college student. And my mom was like, I wish you would stop telling people you're going to college because we don't have money for that. Guess how I paid for it? Dance. There was this scholarship uh, ceremony and program that I got in, and everybody went through 16 weeks of training. It had corporate sponsors. You had to write a paper. You had to go through financial literacy. They was really trying to help uplift marginally impacted communities. And then when you get to the end, they said you have to perform a talent. And they said, Carl, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to read a speech because I felt like I could speak pretty well. And the coordinator just kind of frowned. He said, we got 3 people doing speeches, Carl. I don't think that's going to win. Do you want to win? And I said, I do. He said, well, why don't you do what you were doing out behind the building the other day? And I was like, I was like, whoa, what was I doing? Back then, you would turn the radios up in your car, you would roll down the windows and open the door, and it was just all kind of movements and things. But when I danced, everyone else would stop and watch me. And he felt, he's something, do you got something there? I said, I can't get up in front of a dignified audience at this scholarship banquet. Everybody's in bow ties and they're doing speeches and playing violin and sax. I don't think I'm going to get up there like dancing around. Until he told me how much the scholarship was worth. I think I can. I think I can dance. I won on the local level. I won on the regional level. I won on the national level. I had enough money to pay for my first year of college. So the signs were there early in life that a state of flow for me, and I didn't transfer it back then, but now I'm leveraging how to transfer it. How do you transfer flow, Carl? I want to know. But here you go. The science says that if you begin to anchor yourself, something that would trigger the disposition that you felt when you were in a state of flow, if you can have triggers, for some it's the same cup of coffee in the morning or the same actual cup. For Serena Williams, it could be the same way that she bounces the ball 3 times, slowly looks up before she serves. For me, I do other things. I have like these gemstones. These are more on a psychological basis, but a crystal cola ring, throat chakra, heart chakra, energy center. It reminds me of how well I have the potential to pontificate and speak with confidence. The obsidian bracelet is more of groundedness, with laced with hematite for clarity. When I wear these, it's not magic, but it does trigger in me the potential that I have and how I feel when I'm in a state of flow. The I stands for integrate. We begin to integrate into our day the example I gave regarding the board meeting, the disposition, the understanding of how to deal with uncertainty. In the M, you want to map out your day. Science tells us this. If you map out your day, you have a much more natural proclivity to move into a state of flow than if you don't. The next time that you are enjoying an amazing activity that you love, I want you to enjoy it. Enjoy it. Think about how you feel, how the inner critic in you is just like non existent, how magnetic you are, your likability factor goes up, your energy level, your posture. You want that version to show up on mornings when you have a tough task to do and you want to trigger that. So I want you to think about the activity, enjoy it, but also trigger it for other things. I'll leave you with this. Transformation doesn't happen always in the doing, but it happens in the transfer. Thank you so much.